Property Quarterback YouTube channel. I am your property quarterback, Mike Williams, licensed realtor as well as investor in the state of Pennsylvania, serving the greater Philadelphia area, both city as well as suburbs. I have a wonderful topic for us today. We're talking about mortgages, and one specific mortgage at that. We're going to be talking about the NACA program and what it is and why I believe in it and why I love this mortgage program. Before we get into that and all those juicy details, let's discuss what a mortgage is. A mortgage, basically, we dumb it down here at Property Quarterback. Based in its basic form, a mortgage is a loan to buy a house, a loan to buy property. That's what a mortgage is. Many people don't have tons of cash in the bank. They don't have the $50,000 to $300,000 in the bank to purchase a home. So what they do is they go to a mortgage lender and obtain a note to purchase a home where they can make installment payments. Basic form of what a mortgage loan is. So there's a lot of programs out there, and this is really good to know what programs are out there. And as a property quarterback, as your realtor, to my clients, I make sure that we're set up for success. So I make sure that there are other team members, which are our loan officers, which are our mortgage companies, that are playing for the win as well. They're on our side. And one of my valued team members, I love the program, is NACA. It's the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America. But in short, it's NACA. And NACA has a phenomenal purchase program. And I'll give you the pros as well as the cons of it. And I'll tell you my personal experience because my first home was with a NACA mortgage. So what is NACA? NACA is a nonprofit organization. Once I repeat that, they're a nonprofit organization that, are lending money, brokering money of lenders to purchase homes. And I think their program is phenomenal. I've been in the finance industry for going over 10 years. And I spent much of that time as a lender myself. And when I was looking for a mortgage for our first home, I was introduced to this program. And I couldn't believe what I heard. It was too good to be true. I was like, that doesn't exist. What I was told was there's a mortgage program out there for first-time buyers where you don't need any down payment. Yeah. No PMI. What? What is that, PMI? Private mortgage insurance. We'll talk a little bit about that. And no closing costs. And then here's the kicker. You get a below market interest rate. Are you serious? Those are like, you don't get one of those from many lenders. But to get 4 of those, so you're telling me that there's no down payment, meaning that this is a 100% loan to value loan. We talked a little bit, go look at my YouTube videos about, loan to value calculations and why that is so surprising. But many mortgages, even FHA mortgages, you need 3.5% down. With this particular program, NACA, you don't need any money down. So I really value this program. It's not that me and my wife did not have the means to do a FHA or a conventional loan. We did. But this program was beyond belief. And I thought it would really help set me and my family up for financial success in the future. And it has. So the NACA program, it is phenomenal. You get all those benefits, right? We talked about it. Just talked about it. No down payment. below market rate. No PMI. That was the kicker for me. No private mortgage insurance. No mortgage insurance at all. I have no mortgage insurance on our first home that we purchased. Like no mortgage insurance. We have, and we didn't pay any closing costs. And look at some of my TikToks as well as we post them here on YouTube about what involves closing costs. The NACA program is just phenomenal, and I can't say how grateful I am for a program to exist like this. So I'm just wanting to give you what my NACA experience was, and hopefully this will, give you some insight. So basically, it is a nonprofit organization. So there are a few hoops you have to go through. NACA, I would consider NACA a mortgage broker. And I'll explain. NACA basically, underwrites your loan, your application, and then it gets sent to a bank, whether it's Bank of America or Citibank or a bank, and then they underwrite your application. But NACA pretty much makes sure you're going to get approved by the bank they send your application to, because it's already been underwritten and it's been thoroughly underwritten. So yes, NACA, let's talk about it. So the first thing, after learning about the program, I looked it up, and the first thing they ask you to do is go to a workshop. The workshop is about 3 hours or so, and you spend time there learning about the program, what the program is, the benefits of the program, what they require of you within the program. Now, remind you, this is no cost. Like, I did not pay NACA a dime. Like, they didn't charge me a fee at all. Like, no fee. I am now a member of NACA, and I'll talk about that as well. But there's no fee, no annual fees. There's nothing involved with that. This is a nonprofit organization just doing the right thing, trying to put people in homes that they can afford. And I say that specifically because we want to this is one of the reasons why NACA started their program, is because they don't want people to be underwater in their homes. They don't want people to be house poor. House poor. House poor is a term where you have a house, but that's basically it. You're basically working to pay your mortgage, and that's not what NACA wants for you. So what I did was I signed up for the workshop, went to the workshop. Workshop was very insightful. There were some testimonials, and this made this program look more legit for me. After the workshop, they give you a booklet. They give you a booklet at the workshop, and they say, read through this booklet, complete it. It's a workbook. And once after you read it, do you feel as though you're prepared to buy a house? Now, it was a quick read for me because I had a lot of these things in place. So they ask you if you have a budget. They ask you if you have your taxes. And I keep all these things on hand. Keep them digitally as well as in paper form, actually. So I was pretty well organized. And I say, yeah, I'm ready to buy a house, with what I heard so far. So I reached out, and they then assign you to a mortgage counselor. This mortgage counselor is a godsend. Let me just tell you. For people who aren't as organized or aren't familiar with the finance industry like I am, or like I was, they really help people from A to Z. Literally, you can be from total ends of the spectrum. You can say, listen, I want to buy a house. I just don't know how to do it. That's okay. The NACA program will help you get from A to Z. Seriously, they will help you get from what your dream is to actually being a reality. If you want to own a home, that's your goal. They'll help you achieve that goal, as long as you come in with the goal. And that is that you want to purchase a home. NACA will help you do it. And this mortgage counselor is very essential to that. So you will sit down with this mortgage counselor, like me and my wife did. We went down and sat with the mortgage counselor. We had, in the workshop, they said, hey, put this booklet together of all of your financials. And we did. Our tax returns, our pay stubs, everything was in this booklet. I still have the booklet today. And it was everything in that booklet. And we took that with us to the meeting. The actual counselor was very impressed. And then he saw what I did for a living. He was like, oh, that makes sense. I'm sorry, it was a she. She saw what I did for a living and she said, oh, that makes sense. We said, well, what's next? And then, we sat with this mortgage counselor, and really understood what was important for preparing for a mortgage. So we talked about what was in our savings account and that we needed, those who want a mortgage need to have 6 months of reserves. We had that. What that means, 6 months of reserves. 6 months of reserves is 6 months of your mortgage payments need to be in your savings or checking account. Doesn't matter where. You just need that in cash. And most banks, most mortgage lenders require that you have reserves just in case you lose your job or something. You're still able to pay your mortgage. What they needed was 2 years worth of our rental history and rental payments. Good thing I pay everything either through credit card or auto pay and from our checking account. So I had that. I had all of our rental history for the last 2 years and beyond. So we had that. So they require this, and this was all in the booklet. And, as we had given them the booklet, they went into underwriting on it. And the mortgage counselor was with us every step of the way. She would call us just to check on us to see, where we were in the process. Now with NACA, you have to make sure you're keeping your information up to date. So every new pay stub I received and my wife received, I sent it in. They give you a nice portal that you can do this through. Every bank statement, new bank statement I got, I sent it in because they require all your open bank accounts statements. Why is this important? All mortgage lenders require all your open bank account statements. They want to know how much money you have. They need to see your full financial picture. And, it's very important in order to qualify for a mortgage. Like, it's very important. We can't be hiding things. And NACA was really upfront about that. What they did was that they are a nonprofit organization, so we had to pay for our credit reports to be pulled, which was understandable for me coming from, the financial industry. I understood that credit reports cost money. Yes, when you go to open a credit card or when you go to run, to get a car, that car dealership or that lender that just pulled your credit report paid for it. With NACA being a nonprofit organization, we paid for our credit report. And that was okay because we were able to get some money back. They do reimburse you for certain inspections, and we'll get to that. So, awesome program, right? So we're going through the counseling period. Now, one thing, I'm talking about all the good stuff, but this is one con of the program. The organization within itself is a little disorganized. Not a big deal for me because I understand what I'm doing and what I'm trying to get done here. And I understand what needs to be done because I've done it for clients. So I'm doing it for myself at this point. But for other people, please, if you decide to go through the NACA program, any of my clients out there, if I encourage you and you decide that you want to do the NACA program, and I just recommend it to you, and I encourage it for you, and you decide to do it on your own will, please be patient, and then just be more organized than they are. They're not that organized. This is a great program. A lot of people want to own a house. And there's a lot of great benefits. So they're overwhelmed. They're a I don't know no nonprofit organization that's not overwhelmed, first of all. So they're a nonprofit organization. You're getting free counseling on your finances through a mortgage counselor. You're getting free counseling, how to repair your credit. Now, me and my wife's credit is pretty good, so we didn't need that help. But there are other people out there who need that help. They need help, with their credit, and NACA provides that. They need help with savings plans and budgets. NACA helps with that. So, I say this to say, just be patient and be above reproach. Give them more than what they need. Be on top of your pay stubs. Be on top of your bank statements. When things change or fluctuate, be on top of it. Inform them. There was a time where I was emailing our mortgage counselor as well as the mortgage counselor's manager, just to say, keep everybody in the loop. I wanted everybody in the loop, as well as our realtor at the time. I wanted everybody in the loop, so that way there was no misunderstanding. So you got to be more organized than they are, because quite frankly they're not that organized, and that's just because of the sheer volume that they're getting. And you can get through the program. How long does the program take? My wife and I started the program in March. We are approved in April. End of April, beginning of May. So it took us a month and a half. Why was it so long, Mike? Why does it take you so long to get approved? It's a nonprofit organization, and they are dotting every I, crossing every T, to make sure that you get into the right mortgage. Once again, they are not the most organized. And once I realized that, I got on top of it, and we were moving a little quicker. So it's very important that you just stay on top of them. I've learned from this experience, so take this advice. Just be more organized than they are. And they will appreciate that, because they want to get your mortgage moved as well. So, just be the squeaky wheel, crying out for oil. Be that, and you will, be heard. So it did take a little bit of time. It takes some people through the NACA program, a month. Some could be a year. Some could be 2 years. I mean, when I was in the program, the workshop, someone said they were in the program for 6 years. Listen, they had a goal, and they admitted a lot of it was on them. They did not steer the course that the mortgage counselor and themselves had put together. Listen, as you know, I'm your property quarterback, and my job is to make sure that we put together a winning game plan. So if someone's on our team, which is a mortgage counselor, and they are helping us put this game plan together, we gotta stay the course. So that's my soapbox on that one. You just gotta stay the course. You can't get frustrated, because you're gonna be losing out on some really great benefits, actually paying more for something that you don't have to, if you're just a little patient. So my wife and I we didn't need to be out of our apartment for 6 months when I started this program. So that's very important that you hear me on this. I took a 6-month lease, purposely knowing that I was going into the NACA program and knowing that it could move a little slower than your traditional mortgage program. And during this time, it was taking, deals 30 days to get done as well. This isn't, recent. So it wasn't, it was taking a while for regular mortgage lenders to get deals done. So for, NACA to move, a month and a half wasn't that much different than what was already going on out there. So yeah, we get approved in that month and a half. And then, the NACA program is a little different. You get approved to go look for a house, but then they have to approve your house. See, the good thing about NACA is that they will not put you in a home that you cannot afford. And I love that about NACA. And my wife and I knew that we were going to buy a house that was going to go eventually into our rental portfolio. later down the years, and we knew that it was our starter home, and we knew we weren't going to be spending a ton of money. We live well below our means. So we knew that that's, wasn't going to be an issue. So we got approved for a certain amount of money, and we started looking for a house. And as we were looking for a house, we, would find one. And, the market at that time was similar as now. It was very aggressive, to say the least. And houses were going very quickly. Here in the Montgomery County suburbs, right outside of the city of Philadelphia. And we were looking for a specific type of house. My wife and I took a while to get on the same page. Please, spouses, this is a little marital advice. Work out what your wants and dislikes are. What you want and what you don't want. Put that on paper. What you want and what you don't want. Put it down. Write it down. What your must-haves are and what they aren't. If you want a fixer-upper, if you want move-in ready. Because me and my wife took a little while to get there, and we finally met in the middle. And I say a while, it took us about a month. Because here we are in May, and we found our house in June. So, yes, this is not HGTV. You don't look at 3 houses and fall in love with it. I just think that's bogus. You look at way more than 3 houses. I can guarantee that. Majority of people. There's some people that walk into the first house and they love it. But majority of people look at more than just 3 houses. But going back to the NACA program. And so we send our now desired home to NACA for approval. They approve it. Then we start the process. Now they move our application and our now approved home to the lender. Our lender was Bank of America. And Bank of America took our loan, and they're doing some of the very similar things that NACA did according to the underwriting process. They're asking for pay stubs. They're asking for bank statements. And guess what? It's already here. We already have this stuff. We have it at, fingertips reach. Like we can reach out and grab it. We can shoot it in the email. We got it. So it was easy. It helps prepare you. I'm telling you. And then as we get through the underwriting process, that only took a couple of weeks. We go through the underwriting process, and then we get called into the mortgage counselor's office, and we go through all the loan documents. Phenomenal. What lender goes through every single document with you? I mean, verbatim. They, and tells you what it is. And now I already knew what these documents were. And it was just refreshing that, they really want to educate people. NACA really wants to educate people on how to be financially successful with a mortgage. So after we got approved, we found our home. We now are getting ready to close, getting prepared to close for our new home with our NACA mortgage, which is now a Bank of America mortgage through the NACA program. Another benefit about NACA, you can buy your interest rate down. Well, you can do that with any bank. Yeah, but not the way NACA does it. I mean, you may, a point with NACA, I believe what for us at the time was 0.25%. Yeah, I just said 0.25%. Yeah. Ridiculous. Now, it may be different now, even if it's 0.5%. Normally, you have to pay like a 1 point is 1%. But, it was much less expensive than your traditional mortgage. Also, if we wanted to, we could have asked for up to 6% seller's assist with the NACA program as well. Are you serious? You can still ask for seller's assist? Yes, you can. Even in certain areas in Philadelphia, and NACA is in many states, not just in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. It is in many states. I know it's in New York, it's in New Jersey, they're in North Carolina. So many states have the NACA program. I believe they're in Maryland. So they're in many states. So, just, you can look it up, and there are many states. But here, during my experience, if we wanted to find a house in Philadelphia, which me and my wife weren't interested in doing, certain areas in Philadelphia, they would have given us up to 10% seller's assist. Mind blown. Oh, other thing with the NACA program. My wife and I, didn't want to, my wife didn't want a multifamily home. I believe in house hacking. I really tried to convince her it's okay. We came up with another strategy. We talk about these game plans. What I suggest, many clients that are looking for to house hack and looking for multifamily homes, the NACA program, you can buy a multifamily home. Yes, you can buy a multifamily home. I've known people to do it. So I've also, going back to the interest rate, because I'm jumping around and I apologize. The interest rate, you're able to buy that down through what's called points. So my wife and I bought our interest rate down. Interest rates, just 2020 now, and interest rates are at an all-time low. But at that time, interest rates were still at a low, and we made it even lower by buying our interest rate down. So that money we would have used on a down payment, guess what we did? We bought our interest rate down. There's many testimonials. People have bought their interest rate when it was 5%, bought it down to 3%. When it was, 4.25%, they brought it all the way down to 1.85, which is probably close to what we're doing now in regular rates. But it was unheard of at the time. I mean, think about it. The current rate at NACA, I believe I saw it on their website, was 2.215. If you bought that down, it can't be zero. That's one thing about NACA. It can't be zero, but you can buy it down. Are you serious? You can basically have a 0.75 rate. Possibly. Like, this is mind-blowing. And this is one of the benefits, another benefit of the program. So after me and my wife, we bought our home through the NACA program. We now have a Bank of America mortgage. And that was our experience. And it was a great one. I recommend many of my first-time buyers to buy a NACA mortgage. Well, Mike, can you use the NACA mortgage after you buy it again and again? Well, yes and no. So say, you outgrew your home, like me and my wife are currently doing. And you outgrew your home and you need to buy another house. NACA will, as long as it's been within, I believe, 3 years, you can then join the NACA program again and go to buy another house using the same program. Are you serious? Yes. The problem is, or not a problem, but the caveat is your house that you currently live in has to be on the market. You have to intend to sell your house. So that's the caveat with NACA. So let me talk about, while I'm there, let me talk about the pros and cons. So the pros, right? It's an unprecedented program. It's been around for over 20 years, so they've been here for a long time. They don't seem to be going anywhere. So that's a good thing. It's not anything new. So that's another benefit. No down payment. No, calm the nose, PMI. No closing costs. And below market rate. Benefits all within themselves, right? They're in many areas, many cities, many states across the country. So they're very accessible. Many of the things they're doing now, because it's 2020 and we're quarantined and it's COVID, the COVID pandemic is just, changing many things. They do a lot of things virtually, which is still great. So they're very accessible. Now let's talk about the cons. if you're a person that wants it now and is impatient, and didn't really plan, you need to be out of your apartment within 3 weeks, and you want to go buy a house. This is not the program for you, because you need to be a little patient. So the time that it takes to get through the program, whether it's as little as a month, or for some people it took 6 years. So time is a big one. The organization's disorganization. I like that play on words. It's another thing. They're overwhelmed. With the sheer numbers of people who want to buy a house. And many of these people are those people who are at A and nowhere close to Z. And NACA has to kind of coach them through it. And they do. They coach them through it. But, if you're someone, or you're someone like me or one of my clients, you might be at N already. You just need to get this, you're halfway there. Or maybe you're at T, and we just need to get to Z. Someone like me who was already at Y. You know what I'm saying? So wherever you are on the spectrum, know that it's going to take some time. Know that that there's sheer overwhelm meanness of the number of people who want to be in this program causes a lot of dysfunction within the organization, because they're overwhelmed. So the organization is not very organized. Is that any problem of ours? The consumer? No. The organization needs to figure that out. But that's just a con, right? That's just a con. They're not that organized. And then, as an investor, NACA requires that you only have one mortgage in your name. One mortgage in your name. And I'm going to repeat that because many of my investors out there quote that. One mortgage in your name. They don't want any other mortgages in your name. So you cannot use this program to create a real estate portfolio through this program. You get one NACA mortgage in your name, and they require that you only have one mortgage in your name. I've argued the legality around that, law around that, because you don't know how many mortgages I have in my name after I get this mortgage. But what I appreciate about NACA is that they really want to make sure you don't drown in debt and that you don't become house poor. That you have a house or you have all this real estate, have nothing to show for it because you can't pay for it. And then you end up having to call the loan. NACA wants to put good loans out there. That's why you have to go through all the hoops. They make sure that they really put good loans out there. And that's the reason why they're so strictly underwritten. And this is a good thing for consumer as well as lender. Because they know that they know you can afford the mortgage. And it will not, unless there's for unforeseen reasons like COVID, pandemic, you should not be on the verge of losing your house. Unless there's, something major, happens, you should not be on the verge of losing your house, because they have helped guide you and counsel you into making better financial decisions. They've helped educate you with your finances and helped you become more financially literate. And then you also become more responsible consumer leaving the NACA program. So the NACA program is phenomenal. So some of the other requirements that you may see as a pro or con, I don't know. For me, they were kind of like in the middle. They're just things I have to do. Because NACA is a nonprofit organization, you do become a member of the organization in order to receive the mortgage. What is that? It's a small fee, a one-time fee. You don't have to pay it annually. It's just a one small fee. The funny thing, I don't even remember how much it was. That's how small it was. So, and then they ask you to do, some volunteer activities. Whether it's, a little bit of your time or, just writing a thank you note or helping people get registered to vote. Whatever it may be. Many people, amazing people out there do these things anyway. Or you recommend someone who's really trying to buy a home to the NACA program so that, maybe they're at A and they don't know how to get to Z. So you recommend them to the NACA program. NACA appreciates it because that's what they're in the business to do, is helping people reach their goal, to reach their dream in buying a home and becoming homeowners. So there's a few cons. I believe the benefits financially for the long haul outweigh the minor pains. I tell the people I love, I tell my clients, and I love them, I love you all. I tell everyone, you have to look at the long-term gains and keep your eyes focused on the long-term gains and not focus on the temporary pain. That's all it is temporary pain, temporary discomfort. That's what it is minor compared to the long-term gain. And if you want to be a homeowner, that's the way you got to look at it. And it's a great program. I recommend the NACA program. If you're one of my, if I'm on your team as your quarterback, as your realtor, I have had this conversation with you. I've experienced it. I've sent many people to the NACA program. I won't say it was a joy, but I will say it helped set them up for a real estate win. And we were celebrating a victory at the closing table. All right, that's Mike Williams, property quarterback session, NACA mortgage. We talked about mortgages. We're going to talk about other mortgages, but this is one that's close and dear to my heart. Go ahead, look up NACA. It's a great program, NACA.com, NACA. And I appreciate you all. I'll be talking to you soon. Well, thank you for joining us for another edition of Property Quarterback on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment your questions there below. Here's to us celebrating a huge victory at the closing table. But first, we got to put together a winning game plan. We'll see you soon.